Hello and welcome to the United Film Podcast. My name is Greg Randolph. I'm a writer and director from Boston, Massachusetts. This podcast is an opportunity for me to tell you about filmmakers currently active in the UK from around the world. Today, I am delighted to have Marcus Massey on the podcast. Marcus is an actor and voiceover artist based in London. We had the recent pleasure of working together on feature film Dracula in Space, which was shot over the course of 5 nights in Leeds. Marcus played the lead antagonist, Dracula, in the film. We discuss several of Marcus's performances over the years, including as Owl in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, and his fascination with the iconic actor Klaus Kinski. In the podcast, Marcus really gets to the bottom of what drives him as a performer. It's an impassioned conversation. Enjoy. Marcus Massey, welcome to the United Filmmaker Podcast. How are you?
Oh, I am fabulous today. Thank you. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here, Greg. And when you asked me about this about a week and a half ago, I just jumped at it.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be really good fun.
I think so. Yeah, no, I think there's a ton to talk about. We just got off of a really fun, intense project called Dracula in Space with Champ Dog Films. Shout out to Louisa Warren. And it was just such a fun time. I was able to direct that film. You were Dracula in the film, and it was 5 days of I wouldn't call it madness because even though it was overnights and we were in this one escape room in Leeds, I felt like we were in a pretty controlled. This is maybe my own little director statement here, but I felt pretty in control, I have to say. Even though, you get those overnights where it feels a little bit disorienting, you looked amazing with the makeup that Maddie put together as the SFX person, and Lindy, production designer, and Nikhil as DOP, and the rest of the crew all the way down to, Faith as PA, and then that I don't want to even say all the way down because she was incredibly helpful as second AC, and the rest of the cast. It was really a fun time, and I really enjoyed that experience. So I wanted to have you on the podcast to not only talk about that experience, but talk about your appearances in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which I know you're incredibly proud of. You got this incredible T-shirt on, and the owl necklaces and the owl pin. It's just super cool, man. I love it. I love it.
Yes, well, we'll start with Dracula. That's what we've been talking about, and it was a joy to be on it. I know, here's the thing. The first thing, when people are going to see me, they're going to be, wow, you looked fantastic. And even on set, I had to be saying, well, look, here's the thing. I can take no credit whatsoever. This is Maddie O'Neill. She's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. The speed in which she works, the quality of her work was absolutely fantastic. So that's half the job done already. I mean, just walk on set and people are going and that was that. So I have to say that straight away. I loved my time on it. It was well organized, and all night shoots are always quite tough because people try and sleep through the day, but that never really quite works out, and you have to be on it. And the hard rap had to be, at the time, it had to be, because it was a commercial environment. The people are coming in the morning. So we not only had to wrap, but it all had to be cleared out as well.
Exactly.
So organization was key, and the organization was excellent.
Yeah. You're kind of always in the thick of it, directing and kind of being those pieces, acting and kind of the key HOD. So sometimes it's a little hard to see the peripheries and see some of the things that go on behind the scenes that maybe the AD is taking care of, or again, the PA or something. But it felt outside of very, very few things that things ran relatively smoothly, and we got what we wanted. Harpreet's currently hard at work on the edit. We should be getting an edit in a few days. So yeah, just a great experience. Of such an awesome performance from you. You have lived a life of acting and performing, and I really want to ask you more about it. Just to again touch on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, you acting as Owl in the second film, with, I think, a planned appearance in the third iteration of the film, which will be coming up, I believe, early next year. If I don't want to say anything.
There is actually going to be a spin-off before the third version. And so the spin-off is actually called Poohniverse, Monsters Assemble.
Right.
And it's all the creatures from the Poohniverse getting together in some sort of Avengers-type situation. So there is that to come, and then it will be the third film. And no, in actual fact, this is quite... I'd made quite a few films with this company before, and I was in briefly the first film as well.
Yes, I saw that.
And it was a rather extraordinary casting choice because but it is marvelous. Of course, I love it, and I was cast as a champagne drinking redneck.
Got it.
In the US.
As you are, you know what I mean? That's the first thing
Take a look at me. I mean, anyway, so, but the thing is that I had to be drinking champagne, because if I wasn't drinking champagne, I wouldn't be able to smash him over the head with a champagne bottle. And I'm not giving too many spoilers away. No. I mean... You know, it is Winnie the Pooh. It is a slasher, and most of the people he meets are killed.
You should go see. You know, get that. It's on. It's on its streaming services now.
Most people are killed. So the fact that but anyway, it would just not have had cinematic heft if I'd have hit him over the head with a can of beer.
I love it.
So really, it had to be So I was briefly in the Actually, I was going to be in the first film in another part.
Really? This is insider info.
But that scene was cut. And
as it happens.
Well, I mean, for whatever reason, no. But it was a small part as well. But it would have been it would have been a different type of ending.
Sure.
But I mean, you know, I'm not going to. It was fantastic the way it was, and it just turned out that things worked differently. But they said, "Oh right, yes, we won't be filming that, but we will need you for this champagne drinking redneck," which was marvelous. And so anyway,
cool.
So I got called back. Owl.
Yeah, Owl.
Owl. And when I got the script for Owl, because of course we all know the stories, we all know the different character vibes.
Well, you know what? I think what might be really important as we kind of get into more of like this information, can you please describe to me kind of the Poohniverse and what this Winnie the Pooh, because there's a lot of people that are in the know, but I find myself often explaining a little bit of what Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is all about. Maybe you can explain that again for audiences who might not know, and then we can talk more about what you were just about to talk about, if that's okay.
Of course.
I'd love to hear it from your perspective.
So, it started with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which... in itself, I think whoever thought of that, Blood and Honey, is genius.
Yeah.
So
it is really good.
Already you want to know more. So it started with that film, and then there have been various other films which have got nothing to do with Winnie the Pooh, but are made in the same sort of vibe.
Yeah.
They're films like Bambi and Pinocchio and so forth. And so, in a cinematic universe, you have Marvel, you have the Star Wars universe, you've got the Star Trek universe, you've got several different... this is the Poohniverse.
Yep.
And so the Poohniverse, why not bring all these characters together?
Yeah.
This is the cinematic world. and so that's what the Poohniverse is. And of course I should have made that clear at the beginning. That
no
good
worries.
Point, because of course the Poohniverse people are beginning. Well, what is going on here? It sounds a little bit worrying. No, it's not. It was heralded by Pooh, but then it went into various other films.
Yeah.
So that's where it is. In actual fact, there are films which I'm not even sure are even part of the Poohniverse. They could be, but I'm not sure. Things like Cinderella's Curse, for example. I don't know whether that is actually part of the Pooh. I mean, it could be and should be.
I was thinking like more like because of Champ Dog and kind of their penchant for horror and all of the different types of monsters and characters they've generated. Louisa and Champ Dog should do like their own Champ Dog universe where it's the Green Monster and Dracula.
Oh,
and,
fantastic. Imagine
and,
that.
this Killer Santa from I Know What You Did Last Christmas. And you could do a whole kind of like crazy cast of characters from that whole world, you know. So, or like the mermaids, she's got the killer mermaids and all this stuff.
Mermaid. Oh, people.
The I think there's were sharks. I think that's a, you know, it's like,
who doesn't want to see a killer mermaid?
Right.
I do. So here's the thing. So I mean, the thing about and of course the great thing about Champ Dog is they've got all the dragon films.
Yeah.
And
and Dino Hunt.
Dragons doing crazy things. Yes, and yes.
Which you appeared in. You were Dinosaur Hotel.
Yes. I think Dinosaur Hotel. Dinosaur Hotel 2.
Right.
I was actually in Dinosaur Hotel 2 and Dinosaur Hotel 3.
Cool.
And
these are all, we might sound like crazy people if people don't understand. You're like, what the hell are they talking about? These are all films in this Champ Dog universe, you know, and it's just a fun, you know, they're feature films, but it's quick turnarounds, you know, maybe 7 or 8 or 9 days, but you make this whole film and this whole universe, and it's just it's an exciting way, you know, and again, definitely for someone coming out of film school to be involved in this type of work and to be able to direct it is very exciting, and it's, you know, you never know where you're going to go because you're able to do so many projects so quickly. It actually creates an environment where, because of the consistency of them, where you're meeting so many people who also have ideas for films. So all of a sudden you're talking with the sound recordist who says, "Hey, Greg, I want to work with you on this short idea I have for, my own film." And it kind of creates a bit of a cultural kind of like a rich environment for lots of different projects. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it.
I think so. And the thing is that as soon as you leave film school, really, it is a question of just do work wherever you can find it. The more the better. It's the experience, it's the discipline, and it's the people you meet.
Right.
And you need all of those things. The discipline can take some people quite some time to get a hang of.
Yep.
And that's why you really need to get your ducks in a row as soon as possible.
Yes.
Film school is in a lot of ways a sheltered environment.
Yes.
And going out and actually then dealing with, because in general, I would say all your friends at film school are all keen and they're all behind you, and you all want to get good grades. You want to get a fantastic final film, etc., etc. When you start working afterwards, you might find that not every single person is going to be warm and forgiving and on your side.
Well, there's an expectation, you know, money. There'll be more money, you know, you at some point. But really, it's about once you leave that school environment, you know, there's going to be certain expectations, and you're going to be expected to deliver a quality that you know is what you've trained for, you know, and that's true of any educational environment, you know, kind of going into the real world. But it's something that I think is pertinent for what we're discussing right now. Marcus, I want to talk to you about, I want to talk about Al. I want to talk about the fan mail you've sent to me, you know, about this. And this was kind of all in our prep for Dracula, is kind of me understanding a little bit more of your world and where you're coming from and the type of performances you've done and the adulation you've received. And it's actually been quite heartwarming to see kind of the feedback you've gotten from your performance as Owl in the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movies. And, you know, it's just, that's exciting that you'll continue kind of on that path. And I'm excited to see where that goes. But I want to talk a little bit about kind of bringing it back to the beginning. That's kind of what I like to do with these podcasts, and talk a little bit about what was your first inklings that you were interested in performance. Tell me a little bit about out kind of maybe your interest in film. I was just looking at your website, and you've just got advertisement stuff, for crackers. I think it was a specific type of cracker. What, remind me the name of that?
That was the Gran Pavesi corn crackers. They are, if you're Italian, you will know this. You will be brought up on it. Yeah. It is ubiquitous in Italy, and children generally eat it, and then people eat it forevermore. Yes, that was a marvelous experience. We shot in Thailand.
Oh, cool.
We did. I was in Thailand for 8 days for that. Then we shot in Mallorca, which was gorgeous. And it's
looked nice.
Such a beautiful place. And then I went back and did it in a studio in Milan.
Nice. Wow.
For 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But
there it is.
But I was working with another absolutely fantastic actress. Well, and very, very successful model. And although it was all in Italian, and I had to learn it phonetically, but I was told what the words meant.
Could have fooled me. Like I think you pulled it off very nicely in what I saw.
But but you're not Italian. There was some discussion. There was some discussion on set as to whether. But he doesn't sound. He's got this British accent, even though I didn't think I had. I was doing it in the Italian way. So I thought, and then they came to a conclusion that but he is a stowaway. And who's to say that's not where he's from? So let it go. I mean, I honestly was trying my best, but obviously, if you are Italian, you would notice how. But you see, the thing is that, as with all, I mean, the way I approach because I said, okay, I know what the words are, but what I want to do is I want to add. We've got 15 seconds to make this fun. Mm-hmm. I want to add a secret storyline, which won't necessarily be obvious for the audience, but they will get something is happening.
Cool.
And so we discussed that, and then decided to do it. We secretly discussed it, just the two of us. And so now when you watch the advert, of course, it's very amusing for me because I know what the secret storyline was. But there is something in the work in this 15 seconds where, yes, they're saying I'm feeling a bit ill. Oh, have a corn cracker. Yeah, there's something else going on between these two characters.
I see.
And that magic is captured.
Nice.
But of course, nobody knows.
Very nice.
Apart from us two.
Yeah, I love it.
And that is because now it goes from being a workaday one thread story to being there is depth here, and it's a comedy depth, but there's a depth here, and now it's more interesting to watch.
Yeah, cool. I love it.
And I always try
that approach
because I was trained a method actor.
Okay.
And in there, what we're always trying to do is we're trying to find try and find the depth, try and find the meaning. What is going on here? This is not something that you think about when you are actually performing.
Right.
Because it's something that you fully prepare for, and it's almost a situation where you fill up your subconscious, and you fill it up to the brim, and then you forget about it because it will then reveal itself.
Interesting.
And you must forget it because you are acting what they call in the moment, which is, again, a lot of people use this phrase, but they don't really understand what it means. Yep. What it means is you're not thinking about anything. In real life, you have no idea what's going to happen in 5 seconds' time. And you don't really even know what you're going to say in 5 seconds' time. So if you are thinking about your next line or thinking about the blocking, then that is not being in the moment. That is acting like a puppet.
Sure.
what you need to do is you have to have that ground into you and then not think about it at the time. That happens automatically. These are the basic things that happen automatically. The movement and the words happen automatically. But what is got to be real is your reactions, actions and reactions to the situation in front of you. Otherwise, it's not being real.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't worry, go home, people, because they'll have AI doing it for you.
Interesting.
This is how the only way to be wanted is to be good, to be quality.
I love it. That's really a beautiful insight into your method and what you're looking for from even a role in an advertisement commercial or for Dracula or for any of these. I imagine you're applying that. And I want to get back to some of these bigger roles and everything. Well, it's every single one. It's like that method I think is incredibly important. So, but I want to continue with this idea of I want to hear about your early inklings that you wanted to be in performance. Tell me a little bit about that. I would love to know a little bit about where you grew up and what life was like when you were younger and what was that thing? Ooh, I like this. And it's so interesting talking to different people about when that bug kind of clicked, and was it a parental figure? Was it a sibling? Were you just naturally inclined to it? Tell me about those early beginnings of like, oh, I really enjoy this, because you obviously derive such passion and enjoyment from it.
Well, it's a rather curious story because actually my mother was an actress, and so I was born into it. Really, this happened around me, and in one sense, when other people want to go into this profession, it's almost like announcing that you are going to. Your parents are going to be so delighted. It's almost like going, right, I'm going to be a monk in South America, or I have decided to give my life to and it's like, what the hell are you doing? They say, right, why are you doing that? And then people in the same way, a lot of people get this in music as well. Yeah. It's they go, oh right, I want to be a guitarist.
Throw your life away.
And it's like, oh right, yeah. Well, you realise it's very hard, and it's like that. What kind of words are that? It's like, whatever you're going to do is going to be hard if you're going to do it properly. People, right, saying I'm not going to do anything hard, I'm going to do anything easy is about the worst decision you can do in life. Absolutely. Anyway, so first of all, that is a spurious argument to begin with. But really, they're saying that this is bad. Anyway, how now? Even I got that.
I think there's a certain amount of fear, like, I don't know how to do that, so therefore, like, there's no clear. I think they're specifying a clear path, and the fact that, of course, if they're saying it, it means they wouldn't have gone down that path. They decided against it, and you're on the other side of it, going, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it out myself. You know what I mean? And
yes,
it's two different mindsets, I guess.
Yes, but even I got it as well, even though my mother was an actress, and so it was.
Was she fostering that? Was that something?
No. It was. She was quite very, very hands off. Actually, it was my father who really was the one who said, "Oh no, you don't want to do that." Yeah. And I wish when I was young,
but he married her, so it must have been something like where he had some type of.
No idea. And other people, don't let anybody tell you what you want or don't want to do, by the way. Yeah. You don't want to do that. What? I'm the one who's saying I do want to do. Sure. Anyway, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was generally dismissed. And my area of expertise at school was in mathematics and the sciences.
Really?
So when I went to university, I did aerospace engineering.
Really? Where did you study?
It's King's College London.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so that was the thing. Now the thing is that there was, I don't know. Of course, here's what happens, and it's surprising to me it doesn't happen to everybody. But the reason why that is because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
So because it happens to me, it's difficult for me not to, when I come across somebody and I question them, then how can I do it? And what it is this: you go to concerts, you go to the cinema, you go to the theatre, and you're watching people perform, and I think it's quite natural to say. And it doesn't happen immediately, but it happens. It's like, I don't want to be sitting here. I want to be up there.
Yeah.
And when you're in the cinema, you're watching film, and if it's a good film, and everybody has their favourite actors, favourite actresses, and so people, I'm sure people go, you know what, I want to do that, but it just seems too much of a leap from the audience to the stage.
Sure.
And that fear is what gets in the way. However, when at some point you have to nail it down, and it was at the age of 30 I decided, or so. I think it was before that I was kind of interested, but I decided, right, I've got to try somehow make this happen.
Cool.
And then the circumstances then are how, and it took a good 10 years for me to, because then you've got to put the money, you've got to live in London. You've got to put the money together for drama school, and then you've got to then, when you go to drama school, you've got to do it, which means you can't work. So you have to build up a certain amount in order to enable you to make the change. But always, don't let anybody ever say it's too late, because it's not too late.
No.
And you just have to grit your teeth and make it happen, which is actually exactly the same qualities which you need in your character to make it happen once you've graduated from drama school or from film school. Because it ain't going to, people are not going to be going, oh my God, I've been waiting for you all my life. Have this contract.
Yeah.
You have to persuade them. You have to have, I'll say, rat-like cunning to kind of get into situations where you're more likely to meet people. Yep. You've also got to learn what pitfalls they are, and perhaps you can only learn that. I mean, people can tell them to you, but then perhaps you need to find out for yourself, because the problem is that people talk about the journey. Everybody has a different journey, and what works for one person might not work for another.
Yep.
And so somebody's journey, they might be lucky that worked for them, but it's probably a terrible idea for most other people. So I think what you have to do is you have to try a little bit of that. You get all sorts of situations in acting. Certainly, you get all sorts of situations where it's there's a networking event. Yes, go to as many networking events as you can. Yeah. But bear in mind, once you've been to about 5, you realise that you're just going into a room with 100 other desperate actors.
Yeah.
And it really gets you nowhere, and it probably depresses you more than it helps. So, but the thing is, you've got to find that out for yourself. You don't want to take the road of going, nope, somebody told me that, so I'm not going to any. You need to go to a few. And then you start getting a sense of where you fit in. There's a place for everybody. And this goes for crew as well. There's a place for everybody, but you need to find your place. Yeah,
it's interesting. I was speaking with one of the actresses, Shaylee Reagan, from A Tailor-Made Romance, the first rom-com I did, and then I Know What You Did Last Christmas. She played a kind of a support/lead. And I found it interesting with actors. I've acted in a few of my own short films. I really never had that penchant, so it's always interesting to speak with an actor and it's funny for me, like coming from a director standpoint, where I'm fascinated by an actor because of that. What you said it right very nicely in the cinema. Like you want to be up there, you want to be there. You don't want to be in the seat. You want to be there. That I feel less of. I'm more kind of like I enjoy that watching. I guess there's part of a director that's very much in that voyeur and that first audience member, right? That it's like I almost like really heighten that experience of the audience, and that's what I feel like I'm that guy on set. But I think with actors and just you tell me what you think about this, like this idea of kind of almost like putting yourself out there, and like because I was asking her like, okay, so tell me some of your favorite actors. Okay, cool. So Matthew McConaughey and maybe Christian Bale or this or that. But what do you see your trajectory? What do you want to do more of? Do you want to do more rom-coms? Do you want to do more horror? And she's more like, yeah, I would like to do those things. But I think also there's a fascination with an actor, right? You are sometimes you're messaged, hey, I want you in for this role. I think you're great for this role. And that's, I think, interesting for an actor sometimes to go, what made them think that? What made them think, Owl or Dracula or for her, interesting. Why do you see me as the villain sometimes? Is it because I have brunette hair? Or is it because I have this? Why am I not picked as like, this other kind of more gullible or this type of character? And I think there's and then I think there's like something where it's like, once you kind of start to get that feeling, what you were telling me, kind of you find your place, you find your little, where you fit in best. And again, for me, it's a little bit like then you can kind of reverse that and be like, well, what if I went after this role that was completely what I wouldn't be necessarily typecast as or something like that. I don't know. What do you think about that? Am I kind of barking up a wrong tree?
Well,
or?
I mean, certainly when you start and for the next 10 years, typecasting is vital because you literally have to nail the particular thing that works for you, that you look like, that people see you as, and so when people have been working for maybe 5-6 years and they start talking about, I want range on my showreel, that's a terrible idea. No, you don't want range. What you want to do is you want to nail what you're always cast as and make that your own.
I got it. It's an industry.
And then because it's show business, and that means there's show, but it's also business.
Yeah.
So I mean, why would anybody cast me as James Bond? It's an absurdity. It would if I had that view, I would be literally deluded.
Yeah.
So what I have to do right now, when you become well known, then it's a different story. Yeah. Then you can then make this thing, and then you can be Robbie Coltrane, who is a comedian playing Cracker, or something like that, who is this sort of hard drinking, smoking Glaswegian detective, but he was actually a comedian. You can do that because then you have attained a level of respect and quality in your field. Now the thing is, actually, there might be also that we've all been through a myriad of different things in our lives, and we can all dig out emotions which would be. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I want characters. Comedy. I love comedy. I love doing comedy. But what I want characters that light the imagination and rattle the soul. That's what I want. And whether if that's a drama or if it's a comedy, it matters not to me. There has to. I have had a lot of. Let me just explain something. I know this is getting quite actory and methody, but here's the thing: if you're playing Othello and you have to kill your wife, then yes, this is a tricky one. I'm not even married, so this is a tricky one. So what do? Do I get married and then kill my wife to find out what it's like? No, that's not how it works. What it is that you have to find the emotions that are
wired to that
character, and the emotions. Then you look for circumstances in your life that invoke those emotions that you've had. So in the case of Othello, we're talking about betrayal. Now, we've all been betrayed, and we can all examine the character in that light, and then do that. What are you going to do? You're going to kill your wife 8 times a week, twice on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but on Sunday you get the day off. No, so it's obviously absurd. So what it's the emotions that you're actually drawing. Now, everybody has had different lives, so that means that even if you're identical twins with somebody, you're going to see things differently. So it's going to be presented differently.
Yeah.
And different things will touch you. Different things will, and every day you will see things slightly differently.
Sure.
Every day you're one day older. If you imagine it over 10 years, of course, you change by a lot, but that's not all happening immediately. It's happening every day. There's an incremental change in you, but also your emotions and and the way you feel, and even on the day. Did you sleep well last night? How was lunch today? Did it go down well? Are you happy? So every moment is going to be different. So if you are fully loose in mind and body and let this reveal itself, then it's going to be interesting, because people will be looking at you, and it's going to be a truthful thing. You're revealing the truth of. Now, they don't know what it is. They don't know whether you are grieving over a beloved pet who died.
Sure.
They just see you're grieving, and they are projecting their situation on you.
Yeah.
And
and
that's a sort of slight insight as to how it works, and that's what delivers a unique performance, because nobody else then can copy that. But also, it is deeply personal. So even if somebody wanted to try and copy it, they couldn't.
Right. That's really great. That's a lot of really good information as to what your mindset is for something like this. So can I ask you, I guess, I don't know, the name Klaus Kinski is bubbling up in my head because you've got the T-shirt. I saw you were rocking it after Dracula in Space the day after. And I was going to ask you a little bit about maybe some of your favorite actors and why they're your favorite actors. And I think Klaus Kinski is such a cool example because I was just watching a clip of him at Cannes, he was all upset, and I think the caption was that his film hadn't been accepted, and he was just completely out of his just super angry about the whole thing. And his erratic behavior is a really interesting thing to watch, and then how he applies it to his films. I don't know a lot about Klaus Kinski outside of his relationship working with Werner Herzog in Nosferatu and in several of his other films. But maybe you can tell me, maybe if Klaus Kinski, if you'd like to talk a little bit about him or other actors that really inspired you or inspire you.
Yes, well, Kinski is head and heels really for me because it's. There's so many other. Everybody from The Godfather. It's De Niro and it's.
You're a fan.
What it is, I'm a fan. Yes, and what it is it's the power and the and the energy that they bring to the role. Now, Kinski had an extraordinary life. He was. To be fair, he was a crackpot, but a lot of people think he was German. He wasn't. He was Polish, and but he was captured. The Germans went into it. They captured him, and they forced him to to fight in the German army, and I think they got, I mean, obviously they're Polish, they're not particularly enthusiastic to do so, and they got captured by the British. He got brought back to a prisoner of war camp in the UK, and he started acting in the prisoner of war camp.
Wow. I had no idea.
Right, yes. Now, to be fair, I've got his autobiography. I mean,
I'd love to read it. Can I borrow that from you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He actually got two autobiographies.
Sounds great.
One which is the one which is really difficult to get hold of, but I do have it, and then the other one. Now, reading them, you've got to ask yourself whether this really, like, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt.
Sure.
But I mean, but then again, he is a rather dramatic character anyway, so you've got to take that.
It's a fun read. It's a fun read.
Yes. But then, okay, talk about and he was frustrated about all sorts of things, and that this comes out. There is Aguirre, the Wrath of God. There is which is just,
this is kind of biggest. I feel like it's one of his more famous.
It is phenomenal. There is Fitzcarraldo, where they have to take that. That's a famous. But there are all sorts of other ones as well.
Yeah,
and even in his, and he did something like 112 films.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And even in some of them, which are B movies. He's always a joy to watch. You can't take your eyes off him because there's an entire story. If the camera is on him and he's just standing there behind the door and he's standing still, but the camera is on him for 10 seconds, and that's about 20 minutes of story. Yeah, cool. It's just written in his face.
Cool.
And that's really what I think can be done if you're acting properly. And I know a lot of people. I know that with what's her name? Oh goodness, Meryl Streep got very upset with Dustin Hoffman at one point, and. Okay, I wasn't on set, and it could have been a shot. And we are talking about two actors who are in the top of their game, and the idea that there should be feuds going on it's slightly childish. But I wasn't there, so I can't really tell. But there has to be. As I was saying before, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 seconds, so. There has to be a certain respect with the other actor that we are on set and this is a controlled environment. But if there is not a level of unpredictability, then it's just moving through a puppet show.
Sure. I love it. I'm starting to get a sense of what inspires you. It's a little bit of not the unknown, but kind of an unexpected nature of things. It seems like you're quite inspired by that. Yeah, you don't know what the next minute or second's going to hold.
It does require you to, and they say in the method, it's like walking the high wire.
Yeah.
Because you could fall flat on your face, but you don't get the magic unless you put yourself there.
Klaus was certainly about that, About that kind of... I always noticed, like, with definitely with Klaus, Kinski, and Marlon Brando, like a tiger not in a cage or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like you just released a tiger from the cage, and like I think Last Tango in Paris. Tango, he's got that. You don't know. He's gonna hit. Like the other actor's almost like, whoa, you all right there, man? He's a little bit like that on edge, there's so many stories with Brando in regards to like what he was like what he was like off camera, on set and things like that, and a little bit of like, you want to make sure you don't, his face will sell millions, it will sell millions of tickets in the box office, but that's part of like the director kind of thing is like, how do I, with some of these types of actors, it's how do I get them to come back down and be in front of the camera so we can make this film, and there's that type of relationship of like, excitement, I guess, but also kind of the unknown. And but it's all tied into this kind of star kind of not kind of system. And and that, I mean, I haven't gotten there yet. I've been lucky enough to be able to work with actors who excited to be there, and maybe that's part of me just trying to early on make people excited that it's not going to be a total kind of a shit show or something like that, and that what we're doing when we finally get to set is going to be something. I really try and not like snap the whip, but like say, just show my enthusiasm for the project, and everyone goes, well, great. I mean, if this guy's enthused about the project and we're only a week out and this is our first time meeting, well, I'll make sure to be in my best proper way of doing things. And I don't know. I mean, that's kind of, I'm talking about current day movie making, like kind of in a low budget atmosphere. But yeah, I think with these types of actors, some of that like unexpected.
Yes. That's but the thing is that in the situation where you're making a film in 6-7 days, you do not have the luxury. Everybody has to be grown up because we don't have
Klaus
6
Kinski.
weeks. We don't have 6 weeks. We're not doing one scene a day, and we can do it, and we can see where it goes, because that luxury isn't there. No. And I think that if you're in a theatre and you're doing 8 shows a week, and the run is 6 months. Mm-hmm. You've got to ask yourself whether after a week, after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, it's not going to become I'm just going to walk in and do it because I can do it automatically. Right. Because the people, first of all, the people who are paying their money deserve more. Yeah. Because it's the first time they've ever seen it. And so they deserve a first night performance where things might go wrong from time to time, but at least it's real and alive. Yeah. And now producers want it to be boring. Producers do not want surprises. Right. But I think that people who love performance, and if you're going to see a band and they've been on a 6-month tour, and it's we're going to go out and we're just going to okay, and they just play because they can just play. They can, if they want, they can just play automatically. I mean, they rehearsed it to hell before the tour started, so then they play, and it's like, right, okay, we're just playing, we're doing it for the 600th time. No, I mean, you have to dig deeper and find something fresh. This is why it's important to remember to ask yourself, give yourself a few moments and ask yourself, where am I today? How am I different today? How is my day been? And that gives you a fresh perspective on the whole performance, because it's not going to be like yesterday anymore. Now it's, but yesterday was yesterday. But today, it's today. And because because the audience deserve it.
They do.
But the producer will want, we want it exactly the same as yesterday. Because they're only concerned with, I don't want surprises. Exactly the same as yesterday is fine for me. But you've got to ask yourself whether that really rattles the soul, whether that is going to get people to go, all right, I'm going to buy a ticket, I'm going to go out, I'm going to have something to eat, I'm going to get on the train, and I'm going to come and see you. Mm-hmm. Why, if it's just going to be exactly the same as yesterday?
I think the creative soul, right, that part in all people that love change and I think we all have it in various degrees, wants exactly what you're talking about. And yeah, the books and numbers and the money people on top don't want that, but deep in our soul, what we want is totally like, you're saying fresh and something we didn't expect. And just to be, and that puts us in a state of wonder, and that's why we walk out of the theater and go, damn, that was a good movie. I love that movie. I want to see what that director's doing next. I want to see what that actor's doing next, right?
Yes, exactly. And the thing is that they say they want it to be safe, But actually, when there is a bit of magic,
when
then
it's
they'll go, oh, actually, we like that.
So I want to just go in a little bit of a different direction, just in regards to not so much though. I want to talk about Owl, and I want to talk about getting back there, because again, I know it's a role that you're super passionate about, and I want to ask you a little bit about again, like you've have fans that have been reaching out to you and just telling you how much they appreciate the performance and the perspective that you brought to Owl, and I want to just hear a little bit about what that was like. Like, just tell me a little bit about being Owl. Tell me a little bit about like that film, and then I think we can talk a little bit about Dracula in Space, and then a little bit about future things as well. But yeah, tell me.
Well, Owl's got the script about. I got the script for Owl, and of course, going to be very, very exciting. We all know that Owl was a bit of a curmudgeon in the original books. And indeed he is here as well. I'm not giving anything away, but when I'm saying he's the thinker and the planner for the whole thing, because Pooh is, as we all know, a bear of little brain. So he plans it. He does get some kills himself, but he's really the one who explains to Pooh, and it's really extemporization for the audience too, why this is all taking place, why they're bringing the fight to humans. And of course Owl is pissed off because of course he was ripped from and changed into an owl, and humans do what they always do, which is say they love you and then betray you, and then dismiss you, leave you to rot, like, oh, right, yeah. We've all been through that. But also, I mean, what teenager isn't angry about something? And if not, why not? Because there's a hell of a lot to be angry about at the moment, can tell you, in the world. So what teenager is not angry about things? And an owl is angry about things. And, well, in the case of Owl, almost everything. But anyway, anyway, but the point is, he's angry about things, but it's righteous anger. So, so it was like this is a gift.
Cool.
And so I sort of bring that in, and I know that a lot of the audience are either going to be teenagers or certainly young students, sitting there drinking their beer, watching it, etc. And it's right. Look, don't you feel the way I do about things? So I wanted to bring that in, cool. and it really connected with people, and as I was kind of hoping it would, because I was speaking the words written for me, but speaking them from the heart, and so I was really gratified that so many people actually got, because I was thinking, I'm doing all my work, right. but is that going to really come across, or is it just going to come across as it does just the words in the script? But I think for a number of people it did, and I was really gratified about that, because sometimes you hope. And your hopes are dashed, but on this occasion it worked. So I really am grateful to the people who like Owl, who want to see more of Owl and how it goes. I just feel as if I was on the right track. Yeah. And I should continue with equal enthusiasm in the future. Yeah.
It was cool to me hearing some of the feedback you were getting from fans and things like that, and I thought that was really nice. And the fact that you were kind of being able to speak with them and give good energy back, like the way you were kind of telling like your day in the life of Owl, and kind of what your life is like. In the day-to-day, and it's just kind of a cool way of like sharing, and I never would have thought that, but it's nice to see. So It's cool. It's cool. Like I just think it's a really interesting part of your career, and it's just it sounds like it's just the beginning of it. So
I think that as an actor or as an artist in any capacity, and this is the crew as well. I mean, you have a conduit to so many people who are going to watch your work.
Yep.
And that means that if you're going to take your work seriously, it means that you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
And to not just do your best, but do put across what you have to say, and it's quite a heavy responsibility actually, because if you get it wrong, and you're sensitive enough to realise that, then I think that you would be devastated.
Yeah. I love it. I think we're getting there. I mean, I think it would help us to talk a little bit more about Dracula in Space. We have spoken a little bit about it, but it was just it was a fun performance. Can you maybe tell me any? We went through it, so I actually think we've covered a lot of really, really awesome stuff. So, but maybe we can talk a little bit. And the thing is, we still haven't seen an edit yet, so it's hard to really, really discuss it at length. But I don't know. I do feel like we did cover a good amount of. We kind of spoke about it at the beginning of the podcast, right? Quite a bit. So I don't know. Do you have anything else?
Well, what I wanted to do with if you're making a film called with Dracula in the title, then again there is a heavy weight on your shoulders, and so obviously as part of the work, I was watching as many Dracula films from the past as I could, not to copy them, but to soak the vibe, soak the culture from there.
Yep.
And so because it's the next step in this long trail. You don't want to. You don't want to screw it up, because again, it's not just the responsibility to the script and the story, but it also to the legend of Dracula, and I've been to Romania. I actually went to the Dracula Film Festival for a.
We should get that in there, huh?
For the performance. Oh yes,
It's
definitely.
Gotta go.
Yes,
it's gotta go.
And the guy there who runs that is absolutely lovely. And I went there for an absolutely bonkers film from the past called Bunny the Killer Thing, and more of that perhaps later if maybe we won't have time. But anyway, that's bonkers. But anyway, but yes, so I felt responsible. You feel a responsibility not to let the side down, as in like the Dracula side, if you like. and so I watch it, and I thought, right, okay, I take things I like, throw away things I don't quite like. And I didn't want it to be. I like Hammer films, and I used to watch a lot of them when I was young. But I didn't want it to be too Hammer.
Sure.
I wanted it. I wanted it to be. In a lot of ways, I don't want to say what I want people to think. Mm-hmm. I want to hope that they do it without me saying it. But what I'm trying to say really is that if you were in the shoes of Dracula, so I'm not talking about sympathy here, I'm talking about empathy. Mm-hmm. And there's a big difference between sympathy and empathy before we go any further, and it's quite important in acting. Sympathy is where you sit in your own shoes and you're looking at the other person in their shoes.
Yes.
And you're feeling about the situation. But empathy is when you actually get into their shoes, which is a whole different story. and so there's a massive difference there.
We don't want to commit, like you commit or something.
We don't want sympathy. We want empathy. It's a totally different thing, and it's a totally different level of depth.
Yeah.
So. If you were Dracula, be it girl or boy, and you have, we don't touch on what happened in 14 50s
Yep.
in film, but I know what happened, and so the thing is that if you were in those shoes, how would you feel about things, and how would you behave towards people? Yeah, what scars are going to be are you carrying, and what would your attitude to be for trusting people, or would you necessarily have? You're a vampire, so if you're making somebody else a vampire, it's like, well, I'm a vampire, so I mean, it seems good enough for me. So
For sure.
But I mean, yes, you are condemning them to a life of pain and eternity,
Yep.
but at least you're not going to be alone.
It went into the thirst category, I think, as well, where it's like there's I'm hungry and I gotta eat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's like, again, one of those things, right? Like,
Yes, exactly. One of my friends is a vegetarian, but she still had a cat.
right.
Yeah. So, and they have to eat meat. I mean, it doesn't make you automatically evil, because I mean, it just means that. But also, you're condemning somebody to a life of pain and eternal pain. But the thing is that Dracula is already in this life of eternal pain. He's already sold himself. So it's like, right, yeah. Well, at least I won't be alone. I will be with some, and it's like, and you won't be alone either. We'll all be together, and it's not so bad, because I'm saving you from death, for Christ's sake. So I mean, what the hell's what are you moaning about? That's
great.
So I mean, the thing is that there's no point in painting people all black, because that's not reality. Everybody has got these bright sides and dark sides.
Empathizing Dracula, it's great. It's great. I love it.
Well, you have to if you're going to play him, because otherwise it becomes cartoonish.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And to be fair,
does Dracula hate himself?
There have been films in the past where it has got a bit cartoonish.
Oh, yeah.
And what I didn't want to do is go down that road, because it's okay. That's so easy, and this is not. We want to make
better than that.
We want to make something that people are going to go, yeah, when the final credits are rolling, it's like kind of, yeah. We want that. We don't want...
I'm glad I watched the movie. You know what I mean? They're glad they watched the movie because it's offering a new perspective on the whole situation, you know?
Yes.
And kind of dealing with the subject matter a little bit head on, right? Like you're saying, like doing the research, trying to get and soaking up the vibe a little bit, and then like what you're describing is exactly like not like trying to it's to stand on the shoulders of all these really awesome movies and to have fun with it, but at the same time do it justice, which, because they all did justice. Like if one of them had just said, oh, whatever, then the whole Dracula idea becomes less than what it is, which is a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon, like what Dracula is and what it means to our culture and all over the world. And who doesn't know who Dracula is? You know what I mean? It's like a part of our storytelling history.
Yes.
Fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's and there are a few tales like that, and it's a classic. It was like, oh my god, I've got the part of This is an iconic character.
Yeah, to direct that Dracula film like that, you feel like, well, yeah, I got to do it. I can't slip. I can't not at least put in the time and think about it. Okay, cool. We could talk about that for a long time for sure. We'll have a whole episode on Dracula one day, maybe. Maybe we'll do a Dracula in Space too.
Oh, that would be marvelous. Yeah. Because as we know, Dracula, but I've already said he lives for eternity, so
that's easy.
We're not really giving anything away there.
Yeah, right.
I mean, and let's face it, how many films have there been in the past,
He's still around.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's in space.
Exactly.
So let's talk about... I want to hear about, you've got some great opportunities coming up with more Winnie the Pooh films, which sound super, super cool. Tell me about what you want to do. What do you want to do, Marcus Massey? Like,
Right.
What is going to really like make you excited for the next performance? Next thing?
I want to work with I want to step up into film, but again, it wants to be films like directors like Werner Herzog,
cool.
and people like that. They're slightly quirky, because that's what seems to work. For me. So in a film like, for example, In Bruges, for example.
Love it.
It's that sort of film where I feel I can fit in.
Yeah.
Pretty easily in that sort of environment where but again we've got to go back to lighting the imagination and shaking the soul. Again, that's what I want. So whether it be a comedy, In Bruges is quite comedic, really.
It's great. It's a good combo because that dark comedy meets slight bit of action in there. Great cast. Good director. Good shots. Interesting location. It's kind of just it's a movie's movie, I guess you'd call it, or something like that. It's just. That's an easy sell, And it's interesting with Banshees of Inisherin, kind of like same cast, like it kind of brought some of that. At least just having those two actors, like it's a funny thing, and it's a nod to movies. I think it's a nod to that film because I think it's people. I wouldn't call it necessarily a deep cut. I think anyone who loves movies knows about In Bruges as like a fun film that's like a good watch, whether it's with your buddies or just on your own or in a theater or whatever. But then it's I like that you brought that one up.
Yeah, something like that. Now the thing is that obviously I'm a Brit, so it'll probably be down that Brit route because it makes more sense. But you know what? I'll do it. If you're talking about the dream role, it's gonna have to be a Bond villain.
Yeah.
Oh yes. And,
it could happen.
And you know what? I could see. You see, the thing is that obviously I'm nowhere near that level at the moment.
You could do it,
but I can see. I can see that, and and I'm watching now. When I watch Bond films, I'm thinking, I'm thinking that villain. Oh, you know what?
There's been some good ones. There's been some bad ones.
Yes, I know, and I don't really want to say which ones I think are the bad ones, but certainly it was like you know what there. You know what? I could. Oh, you know what?
I could.
I could.
That'd be fun.
I could have given that a crack.
I love it.
And
I think it's everyone's dream to. And you know what? When I spoke with James Friend, who's a British cinematographer, I did a Q&A with him at London Film School. He won an Academy Award for All Quiet on the Western Front, and just recently did J.J. Abrams' latest film, and so I try and stay in touch with him when I can, just because he's kind of like a shining star right now. When I asked him at the Q&A what he would like to do, he said Bond.
Yeah.
So I think it's for a lot of people, aspiring or otherwise, Bond is kind of like high on that totem pole, and rightfully so, because it's just talk about kind of like a story, like Dracula being kind of like a key story. Bond is it's different, kind of a different kind of thing, but
yeah, I know, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Modern story stuff.
It is, and it's a kind of a British. I'm using this word icon now quite often, but it is. It is that, and so come on, that has to be the flag on the top of the mountain.
Speak it into existence. You know what I mean? You can do it. This is a world where anything's possible. So. I like that. Well, you know what, Marcus? Again, we could talk a lot, and we'll do another podcast sometime soon. But I'm gonna say, I think this. Do you have anything else? Any last?
No, I can't think of anything else. When I say I can't think of anything else, I can talk all night.
Yeah.
Right? But nothing to add to this dynamic at this very moment.
Yeah, I really appreciate having you on the United Filmmaker podcast. We'll do another one soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the United Film Podcast. We are a self-funded organization looking to broaden and diversify the filmmaking culture here in London. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast. It is through our listeners that we gain recognition and are able to fund new initiatives with this podcast. Thank you.